Hi. I skipped introduction and greetings in my previous video because I don't know, I find them so, I don't know, weird. Just saying hi, welcome back to my channel. I don't know, it's so I'm just gonna jump straight in the topic. It's easier. As you probably already know this by the title of the video, this one covers week 6 and 7 of The Artist's Way, because they were quite short chapters, and I thought that it just made more sense to put them together in one video. I don't know, but that's what I'm talking about. Week 6 covered the concept around money, and that sense of stability that we all need and kind of pursue, stability that we all tend to choose, most of us tend to choose over, an undefined and blurred dream. Especially for the one of us that were raised to believe that, money is the only source of stability. The thought of being paid to be creative and to do something that we really enjoy doing, something that comes from a place of play, it's messed up. So, strong with our belief that work has to be work, needs to be painful, needs to be this excruciating thing. All the things that comes easily for us, and all the things that we really want to do, sounds frivolous, sounds selfish in a way, because that's the concept you have of work, and what you're doing right now doesn't match. So in this situation, it's pretty common to link the concept of difficulty and going through hard times with virtue, with the concept of virtue, which is an hard, painful, heavy work, heavy job is good, while something that comes easily and feels like play to us is the worst we could think of. Because it's not a real job and you should get a real one. It's the classic. Therefore, when it comes the time to choose between a dear dream of us and a real job, we often pick the second one, the last one. And more than once, even though we made our choice, we were the one making that choice, we sort of tend to blame someone else. We tend to blame, I don't know if you're religious or not, maybe you believe in God, and it's common in those situations to kind of blame on him our being stuck in something that we don't like, in something that we don't feel it belongs to us. I'm just, guilty just as you, and I think it's normal. I think it's normal, even though it's not right. In this process, I think it's crucial to fare questa associazione tra il tuo essere una sorta di martire, l'essere un sacco da box, prendere e incassare tutti i colpi, e il concetto di virtù. And that's what we talked about in the previous video, about the virtue trap. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should go check the other video, this one. Sometimes we have some hard times understanding what we want to do because what we really want to do doesn't match the idea of work that has been told us. Julia says that 90% of the times we are blocked as an artist. The reason is not exactly money, black money, which I will have something to say about it, but let's stick to the book and what she said. We blaming on money, we blaming on, not having the right equipment, we blame it on not having the funds, I don't know, while the real obstacle is our feeling powerless about it. Being blocked is actually our feeling of constriction, our feeling empty inside and not be able to shrink from that. Some of the biggest artists out there were homeless, were raised in poor households, and they still make it somehow because they have this unshakable faith in their ability, in their dreams. In this process, it's also important to enjoy little things. You don't have to strip away from your life all those little things that brings you joy. I don't know, maybe you enjoy spending time with your friends, you enjoy spending time with your family, but you don't do it in order to achieve this dream of yours. What I'm saying is that you have to enjoy your life in a way. You have to be happy and grateful for what you have. You can't strip away from your life all those little things you already have, because we all have those little things that bring us joy and happiness, but sometimes we either forget about it or we don't pay enough attention. This behavior in a long run will turn the greatest of a dream into a nightmare. If you are not able to enjoy your life here, your life now, you won't either when you will have this dream of yours in your hand, because you'll be too focused the next goal and the next one to pay attention to what you have in front of you. These little joys often comes in the form of self-care, time for yourself and yourself only. Eating at your, favorite restaurants, or just eating your favorite dish. Hai un qualcosa anche di stupido, di frivolo, che in qualche modo ti rende felice. Fallo, non succede niente. Blocked artists are the Cinderella of everyone, and it's a mess because you are giving away your energy and your time to other people, trying to making things work for them. You notice these things and you know that there's something wrong, but at the same time you can't quite understand or even just grasp how to bring your own energy to do something you want. È un casino. La settimana numero 6, nonostante parlasse del concetto di soldi e di abbondanza economica, insomma, il succo e il punto principale era quello di portarti a riflettere su quelle piccole cose che in qualche modo riescono a migliorare la tua giornata, non dico la vita, però almeno a svoltare la giornata e integrarle nella tua routine. Julia describes these, little things as a luxury. We all need to have those little luxuries. in our lives. This was week 6. Week 7 is about recovering a sense of connection. During this time alone, this time of self-care, what we are actually doing is training or developing, if we don't have one, our ability to listen to our inner voice, our own voice, and pick up that voice of inspiration that constantly talks to us, but we are always so busy and focused on other things to pay attention to it. Here Julia says something interesting, because she says that creativity is not about thinking something up, making something and thinking about something. It is more the opposite. It's like, eavesdropping the right answer during an exam that you didn't know. Art, whether, is dancing, painting, or writing, is more an act of tuning in, listening to what we have to say and what we have inside. I know it sounds, corny and a little cringe, but I'm sure you had at least once that random thought popping out of your head that goes, oh, you should do that, you should go do that thing. But you're like, I've stopped myself from doing other things just because I started to overthink that random thought I had so much that I felt sick. And that's disgusting to do. Why was so strong and disgusting? Art is an act of tuning in, listening to what is going on inside of us and act on it. We, of course, have to go from listening to the doing part, because that's the only way we are able to create something, by doing it. If you allow yourself to follow the voice that says to you, you should do that thing, it will be easier. It's a lot easier than overthinking it, really. The overthinking part is sometimes, no. In this process, we have to drop that perfectionist side of ours, because I know that you are in your room saying and repeating to yourself, I need to fix that thing. I can't start unless I have this thing. I won't start unless or until I have all, the right things in place, and blah 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 blah, because I do that. I hold your hand, both your hands, it's necessary when I'm saying this, but perfectionism is not about fixing things and getting things right. It's more about it's a refusal of moving forward. Perfectionism is son of fear, I would say. You start to get obsessed about getting all the details right, even before, making the first step, while we haven't even started yet. What triggers perfectionism, I think, is having your attention split between your own notion and idea of creative process and creative act, and the audience. While you are making something, you're trying to create something, you constantly think about whether or not they will like it. So you create with and for these voices in your head, instead of freeing yourself in the process and actually, making something that you want. Perfectionism, says Julia, aims to bring the worst part of ourselves to the surface, and I think it's true. It brings out that part of ourselves, that constantly thinks and believe that we won't be able to make it. Whatever we will do, it won't be enough. I mean, perfectionism is more a negative trait than a good one. Because, I mean, even if you can work through perfectionism and go over it, it always, leaves you something heavy in you. Anche se riesci a portare fuori qualcosa, a creare qualcosa fuori da questo tuo lato quasi ossessivo, ti lascia sempre una sensazione pesante, di pesantezza e di non soddisfazione. So, I would say, creative process is being able to get out of your head and just create freely, get out of your head and get into action. This getting into action more than once equals to taking risks. I think what scares us the most about taking risks is not the unsure part, probably, but the fear of looking stupid while doing it. We don't want to be seen trying. We don't want to look like a fool while we are trying to go after what we want. I think it's this cringe part of taking risks that actually hold us back. Therefore we come up with all these reasons why we can't do that thing, because we are too old, because we don't have the money, because we I don't know, we always find a lot of reason for not doing something. What we are actually saying is that we are not down to pursue and do the thing unless we can do it perfectly. It's like saying, I can't do the thing until I have X, Y and Z in place. Ci rifiutiamo di fare un qualcosa, di andare a rincorrere un qualcosa, a meno che non abbiamo la certezza matematica di riuscire, di poter fare quella cosa alla perfezione. We often use perfectionism as a measure of worthiness. We have to stop doing this. Like, really? We are allowed to do things badly, to follow our curiosity, even if it's messy, and of course the start will be messy. Of course. You need to be okay with taking the risk of trying, even if it doesn't look pretty, because you won't. The start is always messy, and the start can always be, better. But one thing I've learned about taking risks is that they give you that boost of self-confidence and empowerment that it's addicting. I always feel great. I feel good when I that's not really a good advice, but when I do things for the plot, just, for the sake of doing it, I always feel better. And I haven't done things like that in years, because I am frozen in place, and I can't move, I can't do anything anymore without overthinking it. But I remember then when I used to do things just because I wanted to, I always felt good. I was like, that's good to know that I'm able to do the thing, even if it was scary, It was a good feeling in this trying to find your own inner compass, jealousy helps you a lot. And I know we think about jealousy like as a negative emotion, but it depends on what you do with it, you know. Jealousy works, I think I've said it before, but jealousy works as a map. Jealousy is your compass. When you feel jealous about someone, when you see someone doing something and you feel that jealousy in you, that's for a reason. Not because you're a bad person. It doesn't work like that. Jealousy simply tells you that you will love to have that thing too, that you will love to do that thing too. So start to pay attention when your jealousy speaks to you, when your jealousy pops up. Jealousy is also like a mask for fear and anger. We fear that we won't be able to have that thing too. Anger because we see someone achieving goals that we want to achieve too. And yeah, of course, we are mad because people achieve things that we want while we are not even able to reach or ask for them. Anger and fear, it keeps you with a tunnel vision, a narrow vision. They tell you that there's room only for one person. So when you see someone achieving what you want, you think that there's no room left for you. Well, it's not. Of course there is. Jealousy, therefore, tells you where you need to head, where you need to start making room for yourself and taking action upon it. L'intero processo è un cercare di capire come uscire dalla tua testa e passare direttamente all'azione anche quando ci sono tutte quelle voci che ti dicono forse è meglio di no, non riusciamo a farlo, non si può fare. Sbloccarsi come artista è letteralmente un processo di liberazione mentale. There are still a lot of weeks ahead, and from what I'm seeing is really just about learning how to take action upon your dreams. La mia professoressa universitaria di semiotica, ricordo, disse questa cosa e era talmente giusta che la ricordo ancora e sono passati anni. Uno di noi le chiese un qualcosa riguardo il riuscire appunto a realizzarsi, riuscire a realizzare i propri sogni e lei disse: gli adulti non sognano, gli adulti fanno dei progetti. Ed è questo, è il materializzare le tue idee intorno a quel tuo sogno, perché fino a quando non riesci a buttar fuori quello che hai qui, quello che è qui, rimane tutto così in aria. So that's all actually. That was week 6 and week 7. How many weeks? Quanti se ne mancano? We have 5 weeks left, so which is 2 months. No, wait, a month? It's a month? Yeah, a month and a half. Anyway, that's all. Honestly, I have 57 followers. I don't know who you are, honestly, and if you are actually watching those videos, but if you are, thank you for sticking around, and see you in the next one, like always.